got into yo-yoing and you don't know where to start, where to go, you heard there's so many different styles of yo-yoing and you want to know which each and every style is and what they do, what's the positives and negatives to them. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to tell you every single division of yo-yoing, why you should try it, why you shouldn't try it, and explain what each one. You should know one thing, there are 5 different styles of yo-yoing. Well, 7, but 2 of them are outliers and people don't really consider them, and they're not in the competitive scene, so we don't deem them as styles, we deem them as sub-styles. So I will touch on those later. But for the main styles, there are 5 main styles of yo-yoing: 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, and 5A. And each one of these styles are completely different from the other. Let's start with the first one and the most popular one, 1A. 1A is a style of yo-yoing where you use primarily one yo-yo to perform string tricks. The general concept of this style is to land the yo-yo on the string. That is pretty much the general concept of it. There are multiple different things to it, which we can go into with whip tricks, slack tricks, horizontal tricks, and many other tricks of that nature. Elements, tricks, depends how you want to look at it. But the primary concept of this is having one yo-yo and landing that one yo-yo on the string. Also, with this style of yo-yoing, you're going to be using primarily a butterfly shaped yo-yo. The wider gap will help you land on the string a lot easier compared to an imperial shaped yo-yo, where it'd be a lot harder to land on the string. Continuing on with the imperial shaped yo-yo brings us to the next style of yo-yoing, 2A. 2A is actually my primary style of yo-yoing, and it is one of the harder styles of yo-yoing. With this style of yo-yoing, you're going to use 2 imperial shaped yo-yos to perform looping tricks, which are just repetitive tricks that shoot the yo-yo forward and bring it back. What makes this division so hard is that you have to do it with both your hands, causing you to learn ambidextry in a sense. Ambidextrous makes you ambidextrous. There you go. It makes you ambidextrous because you would have to learn all the tricks with your right hand and your left hand. Depending which is your dominant hand or your non-dominant hand, it may be harder to learn on your non-dominant hand. With this, you're going to be doing tricks simultaneously at the same time. Both hands are going to be fully active, and this is one of the harder styles of yo-yoing just because of that. A lot of people are deterred from this style of yo-yoing because it is such a high learning curve and it is a lot harder to learn, compared to 1A. With 1A, the learning curve isn't as high, so most people pick up 1A first just because it's easier to learn, it's more popular, and a lot of people do it. A lot of people end up leaving 1A and going to a different division because they want something more variety. 2A is a lot more variety, but it's a lot harder to learn just because of the high learning curve and having to learn with both your hands. So if you're not into a high learning curve and you get frustrated easy, maybe try one of the other divisions. But 2A is super fun. It's my favorite division and I recommend everybody giving it a shot. Going back to the butterfly shaped yo-yos, the next division we have is 3A. So with 3A is similar to 1A where the concept is to land on the string, but it's also similar to 2A where you're going to be using 2 yo-yos at the same time. The only difference is instead of using 2 imperial shaped yo-yos, you're going to be using 2 butterfly shaped yo-yos. 3A is another ambidextrous style of yo-yoing where it involves 2 yo-yos. You're going to be getting yo-yo on the right to land on yo-yo on the left string and vice versa, if that makes sense. 3A is a little bit easier than 2A in my personal opinion. I've heard otherwise, but in my personal opinion, 3A is a little bit easier than 2A because you can do tricks with one hand and then pause and then do tricks with the other hand. Unlike with 2A where most of the tricks are happening at the same time or without a pause. So 3A is a little bit easier if you want to get into like a two-handed style, but you tried 2A and 2A didn't work out, so maybe give 3A a shot. The next style of yo-yoing that we have, which I don't have here right now, but I'm just going to use this as an example, is 4A. So 4A is going to be a style of yo-yoing where you throw the yo-yo up in the air and it's not going to be tied to your finger. So the general concept of 4A is this is the string, you're going to land on the string and you're going to hop it up in the air. 4A is a really fun style, and it gets confused a lot with Diablo or Chinese yo-yo, as some people may call it. If you've ever been to Cirque du Soleil, you've seen it. But it doesn't have the sticks. It don't have the little Macarena sticks is what I call them. But 4A is a really fun style. It involves a lot of body motions. You're gonna be throwing it over your body, over your head, over your arms. It's a really cool style, and it is very flashy. It's one of the more flashier styles of yo-yoing is what I call it. And the biggest downside to 4A, in my opinion, is having to chase it. Because when you miss, you will run after that thing because it is not attached to the string. So when it falls and it rolls, you running. You're running after that, and I hate chasing it. So that's one of the reasons why I don't play 4A as much, but 4A is such a fun and cool style. One of my best friends, Sean Perez, he is an amazing 4A player, so you should look him up and check out some of his stuff. Also, Quentin Got It is another one of my friends. He's a French 4A player, and his stuff's amazing, so check them out. The last style of yo-yoing that we have here is going to be the 5A division. So with 5A is similar to 1A on the aspect of using a butterfly-shaped yo-yo and landing on the string. The biggest difference from 5A compared to 1A and 3A is that 5A has a counterweight tied to the string. So what the counterweight does is you're going to be landing on the string and doing string tricks and using the counterweight to do separate tricks as well. It's not necessarily an ambidextrous style of yo-yoing, but you will have tricks that involve you using both of your hands. 5A is the second most popular style of yo-yoing, in my opinion, from what I've seen in the community. But 5A is a really fun style. It's like nunchucks in a sense. You're gonna be going around and doing flashy stuff like that. The biggest downside to 5A is you will get hit with that counterweight. You will get hit with that counterweight. Depending on what you use, like I have a little soft ball here for the counterweight, but I've seen people with like squares like this that are a little bit more harder, and some of those things hurt. So if you whack yourself, that counterweight gonna hurt. That counterweight is going to hurt. And you do get hit a lot in the hands, but 5A is a really cool style. I think 5A is cool. Honestly, 2A is my favorite style, and it is my main style, and I think coming second for me would be 4A, and then 5A right after. I'm not a fan of 3A because the biggest downside to 3A is that you're going to get a lot of knots since the strings are going to be tangling up between each other. But those are the 5 main styles of yo-yoing. Aside from the 5 main styles, there are 2 outliers, which I don't have with me, which are going to be Mobius and Double Dragon. I actually can demonstrate a little bit of Mobius. So what Mobius is, the concept of it is that instead of landing on the string itself, the string hole that comes over your finger is what you're going to be using to do the string tricks. So you're going to open it wide and land the yo-yo onto the string hole. And that's pretty much the general concept of Mobius. I haven't tried this style too much. I know it was invented by Zammy. Yeah, Zammy, if you're watching, it was invented by Zammy. And it's a cool style, but it just never worked out for me, and I never really gave it too much time. And the other style is Double Dragon. Double Dragon is when you put 2 strings on the yo-yo and you perform string tricks with it like that. That one's hard. I never could really grasp how to do that, and that one was created by Kai Zizan. He's a really good player in the community. I've seen him do it, and I've seen John Wolf, which is another good player in the community. He does it, but he does it with like counterweights at the end, which is really cool. But those are the 2 outlier divisions that, you know, aren't really considered main styles, but they're really cool, and I think you should give them both a shot because I would love to see more people doing them. Mobius is a really cool one, and Double Dragon is too, so I would love to see the community for that grow a little bit. But honestly, what division you want to play is all up to you. I usually recommend try them all. And if you get tired of playing your main division, there's always another division for you to try. Like, I primarily started as a 1A player, and then I branched off into 4A. And then for 4A, I did 5A. And then from 5A, I finally landed on 2A, being my favorite division. So I do recommend everybody try them all. You never know what you're going to like. You might like one to start with, and then you branch off into another one that you might like a little bit more. So give every division a try. You never know what's going to be your division, honestly. But that's going to be all 5 styles of yo-yoing that are out of this current moment If you have any questions about any of the styles, or you want to learn anything about the styles, any tutorials for each one, I know pretty much every style and I can teach you the general gist and basics of every one. So if you want tutorials for that, let me know. Obviously, you guys, I haven't posted any yo-yo content on this channel in a very long time. So if you guys want to see more yo-yo content, comment, share, like, subscribe, let me know down below. And until the next time, guys, until the next time I yo-yo or ramble on, peace out.